So when I implemented what I'm about to tell you, and I actually stopped with the excuses and I stopped listening to that part of my brain that wants me to stay comfortable, that's when I had some meaningful progress. So you might be in a position right now where you've got a goal or an objective, something that you're trying to accomplish, and you're doing like the actions that you need to do, right? You're actually taking action, you're doing shit, but you don't know if you're actually making progress. Like, are you making progress? Are you doing too much, too little? There's no way to really tell how long it's going to be or how long it's going to take for you to actually get to the goal that you're trying to reach. So I was literally in this same position. It was like a few months into me kind of starting on this whole like self-improvement, kind of trying to like get some momentum in my life and actually achieve some shit. Like I had some goals that I wanted to achieve, and I was like, yeah, let's go, let's get this done. The problem was I couldn't really tell how fast I was moving towards where I was like headed, right? I didn't know how fast I was going toward my goals, or if I was doing too little or if I was doing too much. And so I spent a lot of time just kind of doing stuff, but not really knowing, is this actually worth it? Like, am I doing enough? And like not spending time really understanding whether the time I was spending towards this goal was actually going to push me towards where I wanted to be. And so I kind of had this overall feeling of just like wandering through the desert, and like I was never going to make it out. But I did make it through. And what really helped me get through this phase was the saying, what gets measured gets improved. And so essentially what they mean when they say this, that what gets measured gets improved, is basically what you focus on and what your attention is on and you're keeping track of in terms of like the things that you do and the time spent doing those things. You can actually improve them because you can see what you did before. So as an example, if I like 3 days out of the week missed like going to the gym, and I was tracking how many days I go to the gym, I can see, oh shit, I missed 3 days going to the gym. And then I can figure out, okay, why did that happen? And then from there, the next day I go to the gym because I figured out why I wasn't going. And then that's an improvement, you see? So you can apply this to like every area of life. It's not just the gym. I'm just giving that as an example. So what I did was I adopted this saying and tried to implement it into my life. The first thing I really did though was when I first began on this whole like self-improvement journey. It just sounds so cringe. I don't even want to say that, but basically when I started to get serious about taking my life into my hands and moving in a direction, what I did was the first thing that was really important was to set concrete goals, okay? A lot of times you see people doing random stuff and it's not headed anywhere, okay? I've talked about this before in other videos, but you need concrete goals, like a North Star that you're heading towards, okay? And that's kind of like the roadmap. That's where you're headed. So the first thing I did was to set some concrete goals based off of what I wanted out of life, or at least what I thought I wanted. Okay, you can only do what you can do at the time. So those goals might change in the future, but you set them based off of what you know now and what you think you want in the future. So that's what I did. Okay, I set some concrete goals. And then from there, I started to track all the things that would help me get those goals, right? So all the habits that would help me get there, I started to track those. And when I did that, that's when I noticed some actual improvement, right? And I was able to actually measure that and see that over time I was getting better. So as I'm saying this to you, as I'm saying about tracking and all this, your brain's probably going to reject it, okay? Like your brain is a master of deception, and it's amazingly good at getting you to stay comfortable and complacent. So it's probably going to reject what I'm saying right now, and it's probably thinking, it's either going to be too hard, or you don't have time to track things, or you don't want to live in like, or you don't want to like operate out of like a rigid schedule where you have to do specific things at certain times and all that. It comes up with all these freaking excuses, which I dealt with personally, and it was difficult to overcome them. But you have to understand this thing. Your brain is designed to keep you alive, okay? Your brain wants you to stay alive. And so it's going to do that by any means necessary. And maybe way back in time, it made sense to stay more comfortable and to not venture out. But today the risk is so low that if you listen to your brain, you're not really going to make any meaningful progress. Okay. That's just the facts. So your brain doesn't want you to be going into the uncharted, uncharted waters of life. It wants you to stay where you know that it's safe and things are comfortable. Okay. It doesn't want you to be going out there taking risks, starting your own business, all that kind of stuff. It wants you to stay comfortable. And that makes sense because it wants you to stay alive. But like I said, if you listen to it and you don't actually evolve and grow as a person, then you probably won't achieve your potential. You probably won't achieve what you want. So for an example, like your goal that you want is up here, okay? You have a goal, whatever it is. Let's just say like you're going to the gym and you want to get like really, let's just say you want to get ripped, okay? Let's just say you want to get ripped. It's up here, all right? And now you're down here, you're not there yet because if you were the kind of person that you needed to be in order to have this, you would already be there, but you're not. You're down here, okay? So what you need to do is you need to learn the skills and the knowledge and practice and taking all the experiments and failures in order to get up here, right? You have to become a new person. And to become a new person, you have to go outside of what's comfortable and you have to go into the danger zone, right? Where you don't know where you're going to get attacked. You don't know what lies around the corner. And that is very scary. That's a very scary thing for your brain. So it doesn't want you to do that. And so this all circles back to me saying, if your brain right now is rejecting the idea of tracking things, tracking your progress, then that's probably why. It probably is afraid. So just fucking ignore your brain. Well, I shouldn't say ignore your brain, but ignore the part of your brain that is basically, causing you to be afraid, and try to use the logical part of your brain that's actually telling you, hey, these are things we want in the future. We're going to have to go through some discomfort to get it, but that's okay because it's not like we're going to die. You know what I mean? But the cool thing is in the future, once you get these systems down, so you have your goal and then like your system to get there, you don't really need to be like over the top tracking everything. But as a beginner, as someone who's kind of coming into learning how to do all this, right? It's really a helpful tool and it's really helped me. Like as soon as I started tracking stuff, it literally, I think it probably 2x'd or 3x'd the speed at which I'm doing things. Because every day I'm able to look back and see like, did I actually do this or did I not? Actually, I made another video. I'm going to link it up above about how to kind of hold yourself accountable to like the goals that you have. And this is kind of a similar thing. Not exactly, but in that video, I kind of showed like some methods that I use to actually hold myself accountable to what I say I want. So yeah, you don't really need to worry about over tracking things once you actually get that system down and it's like a habit for you. It's just on autopilot and you just freaking do it. But in order to get to that point, you kind of have to track things to set that system up. And it does kind of suck because you kind of feel a little bit robotic with it, but you have to realize that this is your own design. You're designing the life that you want. And so you're systemizing but it's within the confines of the idea that in the future, you're going to have a better life. So it's worth it. It's worth it to do that. So the other thing is that when you break it down into these trackable like items, right? These trackable lists that you can do. What's great about it is it actually forces you to break down that big goal you have into these little parts. So for example, if you're at the gym or you're like, let's say you want a 6-pack, all right? That's like a very generic common goal that people kind of desire. Well, now you know how many calories you need to eat per day. And so you track that every day and say, did I eat this much calories or did I eat more than that or less than that? And you can kind of track that. And you can break down that big goal, that dream and vision you have into this concrete step that you can actually measure. And that's what's so amazing about being able to track and actually have a system where you're tracking these sort of like smaller aspects of like the goal that you have. But yeah, they have like this other thing too I've seen where people are like saying like track like your time and write down like how much time you're spending on like each task every day. I don't do any of that. I mean, that to me, that seems a bit extreme. I mean, we are humans at the end of the day and it's not going to be super perfect. So trying to like track your time and assign values to like certain activities and add it up at the end, it's like, dude, come on. Like that's just too much for me. But if you want to do something like that, you could if it helps you. But I don't really track the time. For me, it's more about the output, right? Did I do this today or did I not? It's not like I'm going to be like tracking like every little minute of the day and being like, oh, I spent, you know, 20 minutes on making like a script, or I spent 15 and a half minutes taking a shower, and I was eating for 5. That's kind of fucking like psychotic, honestly. So I wouldn't recommend that. I've never done that. But what I do is I actually track the output each day. Did I accomplish this bigger goal? Did I accomplish this daily goal that'll lead to the bigger goal, right? And that's basically what I do. And for me, that's enough. But maybe for you, you do need to go more detailed. But for me, that's just too crazy. All right, so just like an easy, like simple way that you can do this is right here. I wrote out this little chart right here. Very high quality, I know. But basically, it's like at the top you got your days like Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday, and then on the side column you just write down what major habits you want to do for the day, and then you just like check them off as you go. Okay, and it's nice to start with pen and paper in the beginning, because when you're using your phone, you're probably gonna get like distracted with social media or some shit. So I don't know. I think it's just good to do it that way. But you can also use your phone. Your phone is good for tracking your daily habits as well. That's what I do now. I mean, I use my phone at this point. But yeah, like something like this is really useful, and you can actually just put this up like right on your wall. Just hang it up right on your wall, and as you're going throughout the day, just check it off. Just check it off, and then at the end of the day, you can review it and see if you actually got it done or not. So I want to quickly go over some of the different apps that I use to track certain things. Okay, so in the gym, you may have noticed when you go into the gym, there's a lot of people in there who just are like walking around, like lifting stuff, but they don't really seem like they're tracking anything. I don't understand how these people like remember all their exercises and what they did. I think a lot of people just go in there and just do like random shit each time and just like try to lift heavier, which you probably get 80% of the results that way, but I don't like to do it that way. So there's this app called Strong. Okay, Strong. And I've used this app ever since I started lifting. And basically what it does is it takes like all your reps, all your sets, all the different exercises, and it puts it into like this whole like system where you can check it off as you go, and it has like auto rest timers and all this crazy stuff. It's awesome. And at the end, it'll tell you like if you made any PRs, it'll tell you your total weight that you lifted. And you can actually, this is great because you can actually go way back in time and see your exercises from like, a year ago or 6 months ago. And it's really great at tracking your progress and actually showing that you're making progress in the gym. So get this app and try it out. See if you like it. And what's so great is that every time you go into the gym, it recorded your last workout right next to it. So you can see, okay, I did 10 reps for 3 sets at 150 pounds. Okay, this time I'm going to move up, 2.5 or 5 pounds, or I'm going to do some more reps. And that's progressive overload, right? So it makes progressive overload super easy. So check out that app. Check out Strong. The other one I use is calories. All right, counting calories. A lot of people don't like counting calories. I understand it's pretty bad. It's a pretty hard thing to do, and it can get really annoying. But once I started doing it, it made the process of, it took the guesswork out of it. Okay, now it's never going to be 100% accurate, but the app that you can use for tracking your food and your calories, which is really important too. Like if you're on a cut, like you can't mess around. You can't just like guess. Okay, you can't be like, oh, I think today I had 2,000 calories. So it's called MyFitnessPal is the first one, and I like to use Chronometer just because it's a little more detailed. The other one that is really good is going to be Notion. Now I use Notion Habit Tracker, which is basically, it's kind of like a digital version of what I showed you right here. And it's just like you can do it on your phone or on the computer or whatever. That's a little more advanced. So maybe you just want to start with the notebook. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that of any other digital apps that are helpful for tracking things. You can use like apps. If you do meditation, you can use meditation apps. It'll kind of tell you, it'll give you like a timer. I'm trying to remember the name of it. I think, it's Calm. It's called Calm. There's the Calm app. That's nice because it also kind of has a history of all your meditations. And like if you're on like a streak, they have apps for just like recording your sleep and all that. I'm not really doing that right now, but the main ones I would say would be to develop a habit tracker, whether that's on your phone, like digitally, like with Notion, or like I just showed you with the notebook, and the Strong app. The Strong app is really good for any exercises, whether you're in the gym, maybe you're doing like calisthenics. Super good, super important. And like I was saying, that's what pushed me on. Like when I had those things and I started tracking, that's what pushed me on, because it's almost like you see where you were the day before and you want to do a little more, right? And so it's almost like a psychological thing where it kind of like tricks your brain into like, I want to see bigger numbers, right? I want to see like bigger numbers. I want to see more. I want to have more. And so you just automatically kind of do more than last time. And if you keep doing that, and that stacks over days and weeks and months and years, you're going to be making progress. And you can actually look, it's great because you can record it and look back. The other really important thing to do is, if you're in the gym, make sure, if you're in the gym or really anything you're doing, make sure you take progress pictures. Like, document your journey. Don't forget to take progress pictures. So many people forget to do this shit. Okay. When I first started, God, I should have taken so many more progress pictures than I did. So do not forget to do that. All right. So those are a few different things you can track. Obviously, you have to apply this sort of ideology to anything that you're working on, whether you're like in school, working on maybe like a school project or like a degree or a business, whatever. It's just the idea of tracking in order to get better. So remember that what gets measured gets improved. And that's pretty much all for the video today. My throat is getting a bit dry. Thank you guys for watching. And if you're interested in more of this type of content, then be sure to subscribe, and I will see you next time. Peace.